Howdy friends, Sam from Green Hills Guitar Studio here, back with another 5-minute lesson. This video series is all about actual questions I received from students this week while teaching at Green Hills Guitar Studio. This week I had a student ask me about guitar books, so written resources for guitar. He wanted to know, are they worth it? Are they useful? What makes a good book? And are there books that you recommend? This is a great question, especially because there are a lot of written resources out there. So to me, what makes a written resource or a book worth it, there's a couple of things I look for. One, the way the information is presented. So in other words, I like to see a concept explained. Maybe it's the major scale. Okay, here's what it is. I like to see some exercises. Here are some things to do to practice this and get good at it. And then I want to quickly play a piece of music that focuses on that concept or technique or idea. A short piece of music, right? These are usually called etudes or studies. So what is it? How does it work? Here are a couple things to get it going, practice it, and then a piece of music you can apply it to. That's super important to me. The other thing I look for is a book that is graded or gets more challenging over time, right? As musicians, we kind of want like incremental improvement. We want to slowly work on things that are more challenging. And sometimes the information in books is organized all over the place, and it can be discouraging and be kind of confusing. So those are generally the two baseline things I look for in a book that I think makes them effective. There are a couple of other things that are important to consider if you're going to get some written resources. One, finish it. I think a lot of people buy a book and they may dabble with it for a few weeks and then put it on the shelf and they don't touch it again, and then they feel like, I gotta get better at guitar, and they buy another book. And it's just not a good idea. Treat it like you were reading a book. Get the whole way through it. Sometimes you might be reading a book and it's not great, but you kind of got to see it through and get to the ending before you can really say whether it's worth it or not. So don't be that person that buys a book and plays like the first 10 pages and then puts it away. That's not going to help you get better regardless of what book you choose, right? Just not. And then the second thing I'll say about how to use these books is it might make sense to pick something that aligns with how you want to sound. There's so much material out there, so many written books. If you want to be a jazz fusion shredder, maybe it doesn't make sense to get that book about traditional bluegrass guitar. I don't know, it's just not the same language. So if you're going to do genre-specific stuff, pick something that aligns with how you want to sound. Otherwise, pick a book that just focuses on rudiments, on fundamentals, right? So again, my answer is, yeah, these things are worth it as long as they meet this kind of checklist for me. Okay, some examples of books that I think meet this checklist and I think that are worthwhile and have been helpful for me and for my students. The first is this sucker, William Leavitt's Modern Method for Guitar. This is not a genre-specific guitar book, meaning it's not like how to play blues or how to play rock. It's just how to play guitar. It has a lot of incredible technique. It is wonderfully incremental and graded over time. It has just a dollop of theory, so you're not getting mired down in explanation. You're just playing music. William Leavitt wrote 3 volumes of the Modern Method. I've played through all 3. I think all 3 are great, but this one, Volume 1, I think it should be mandatory for all guitar players. Really worthwhile. Okay, number 2. Ted Greene, incredible guitar player, prolific writer and educator. This book is called Chord Chemistry, and it's just absolutely stunning how many chords are written down in this book. I mean, it's just crazy. It's really exhaustive. He was very, very thorough, and just page after page of chord diagram. You'll learn a tremendous amount in a short period of time. Additionally, it can serve just as inspiration. Sometimes I'll just flip this thing open and play the first wacky chord I see, and it just kind of sends me on a path of exploring different sounds. All right? Ted Greene, Chord Chemistry. Pick it up. Okay, the third one I want to share with you is by Mick Goodrick, another incredible guitar player that we lost not too long ago, maybe a year or two ago. This book is phenomenal. It really teaches you how to be creative, how to think about music as it applies to the guitar. It teaches you how to think about the guitar, right? There's not a whole lot of notes in this book. There is notation and stuff written down, but you can see there's kind of a lot of text too at times. So it's developing a framework, a way to think about creating music on the guitar. Really valuable. All right, so check this one out. Advancing Guitarist by Mick Goodrick. And we've got one more bonus book. This one is kind of genre specific. It's been around for a long time. I say a long time. It's not really that long, but it's pretty well known. It's the Jamey Aebersold 251 book. So this one is clearly it's kind of jazz language, right? What can you play over a 251? It's a little compartmentalized. It's a little square, I think, but it is a great resource to start to be able to hear the sound of a 251 chord progression and some great examples of what to play over that chord progression. It has some really nice common language or cliches, not in a bad way, of licks that you can play over 251. And bonus, this is for C instruments, E flat, B flat, so this is for everybody. And this is a really wonderful book as well. So that's my little bonus book. But anyway, yes, they are worth it, provided that information is organized in the right way, and that you play through the entire book, and they align with what you want to do. It seems simple, but that last piece will really help you decide how to navigate this really vast world of written information for the guitar. All right, I hope that's helpful. See you guys later.